and welcome to another fun episode of Indie Film Cafe Spotlight. And tonight, we have a very special guest all the way from Strangeville. We are talking the strange man himself, Kevin Strange. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
South Strangeville. Don't get it twisted, okay? I'm not from that richy-ass neighborhood up in North Strangeville, okay? I come from the streets.
There you go. There you go. And joining us tonight also from all the way out in Los Angeles, California is...
Jonathan Moody. How are you doing, everybody?
Yay. And we brought our monkeys.
And we brought our monkeys. That's his is Continuity Monkey. Mine is TNA Monkey. We felt that both of them were perfect for Kevin Strange talk.
Right.
This is Puppet Strange behind me.
Nice. He's like a mini Hogan.
Absolutely.
So is that you? That's supposed to be you right there? Like that's
Check him out.
Yeah.
He's even got the hat.
So we got the hat. There you go.
That's awesome.
I
love it.
That's awesome.
Shirt says Happy Movies, bitch.
Nice.
Well, now there you go. That's the very first thing I guess we can talk about is, I first became aware of Kevin Strange through Hack Movies. And I guess you could say I was one of the minions or one of the groupies who got to watch as many of the Hack Movies as I could because I just thought they were wonderful and fun and just all kinds of great stuff. And, and then things kind of changed as time went on. I guess Hack Movies had to go away, and then Kevin sort of changed his career and started doing other kinds of creative content. And now you've got your own website out there now, as I recall. It's www.kevinthestrange.com, and you have all sorts of stuff out there. So I guess let's start talking about the Hack Movies, where they kind of began and how they began.
It's been a long time since we've had a conversation about Hack Movies, gentlemen. I was trying to think. I know John Moody. I know around the time Mr. Moody jumped into the Strangeville foray. I believe it was the MySpace days.
Definitely was.
I believe John Moody was doing indie podcasts long before they ever got named podcasts.
Right. We did. It was Blog Talk Radio when.
Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, and I wish, because you have to actually pay now, to get all of that old content back, because.
Ooh.
Right, because I would love to be able to go back in there and collect one of the Hack Movies retro interviews, because I had one where I think I had you and I had Josh, and I had a lot of the people from your group, right?
Brother, you didn't have one. We did about 6 or 7 or 8 shows
That's
over
true.
the course of 3 or 4 or 5 years. I mean, I was a constant guest on the John Moody. I'm calling it a podcast. I don't even know what we called it back then. The show, the radio show.
Yeah, the Independent Corner,
show.
The Independent Corner radio show. Which that was awesome.
And I can't remember if you reached out to me first or I reached out to you first, but you were doing your thing and had a show, and it was probably me. I was a big, I still am a big shiller of my content. It's the only way it's going to get out there for the us underground folks. It's the only way you're going to get heard or seen. A closed mouth don't get fed, as they say here in South Strangeville. So I probably reached out to old John Moody and said, let me send you a grip of these hand printed discs with all my movies on them. And
nice.
John Moody was happy to oblige, started having us on the show. And this couldn't have been later than 2007.
I think it was 2000. It was 2000. I know I started the show in 2006. I'm not sure when we became friends, because I think we were friends before even the show started, because I had followed you. I followed you through that. So it might have been 2007, 2008 or so, maybe around that time.
My first film was 2006. So however that relationship began, I started to go on, and Paul, it sucks that those archives don't exist anymore to get those. You would have loved to have heard the crazy shit we would do on John Moody's show, because that Blog Talk Radio shit would allow for, I don't remember how many lines were open at once on that show. 3, 4, 5 lines.
Well, back then they didn't charge, so you could have up to like 20 guests or something, you know.
Nice.
So I would get all of the Hack Movies actors and our cinematographer
Oh,
Nick Head
that's
and
great.
our editor Johnny, and then we would even have like weird obscure cult guests like Babette Bombshell, who did a cameo in Cockhammer. She would call up and fucking troll us and fuck with us on the air, and it would just be hours of chaos.
Like
Nice.
literally 2 hours or so or longer.
Nice.
Of complete chaos of John trying to keep a thin veneer of professionalism going while we would just talk about the most wretched shit we could come up with off the tops of our heads. And I would give all my whole crew, I'd be this was maybe the beginning of my texting. Or I was probably sending them AIM messages or Yahoo Messenger messages. This is way back in the day, man. We're talking 13, 14 years ago.
Right.
And
right.
it was classic, man. And I made a lot of fans from that experience, from those shows, those classic old school Blog Talk Radio shows with John Moody, because we would just be insane on his show. And like he said, we would go for hours. We would all sit there on our phones. And this was back, we had to physically call in on our phones. And all of us talk to John and talk about the new movie. And I would put a new movie out every year. So it was an annual thing where I would put out a new movie, send it to John, he'd watch it. And then we would call him and harass the shit out of him for and it was a blast. It was my favorite interview show to do back then.
That was
It
great.
really was. It was because nobody else was doing that Blog Talk format. So if I did any kind of voice interviews, again, this was long before podcasts, it would be like a phone call into one host, and it would be one person talking to me, and those were fine. But John, with his Blog Talk Radio, allowed for such chaos and so many people to come on.
They used to let us do that, and I remember like there was one time in the beginning of it, I wanted to see how many people I could get on the show, and it's probably for one of your shows or whatever. But like I would ask like so many people to come on, like if you want to come on the show, call in, and people would just call in, and then we'd have like countless hours of like just us talking about like. Because like back then I was not a professional, like I don't know if I'm a professional or not, but interviewer, but I was like not like I was just having fun with it, and I was learning how to be more professional, but I was allowing for a lot of like mass chaos because that to me was fun. I will at some point pay whatever it is to get in there. And then I'll start downloading all these old things and then start uploading them up on here.
That's great stuff, man. That's classic independent.
People would love it. Call it Blog Talk Radio Throwback.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this was in the day like this. Everybody can make movies on your phone now. And we're in the middle. We're on 3 different, like we got West Coast, East Coast, and Middle America right now, talking in real time for free on the internet with video, real-time video. This shit didn't exist back then. It was harder to make movies. Like old school, like 80s and 90s filmmakers would tell you that like video came in and like ruined the party because suddenly anybody could make movies on video, but it was still extremely rare to put together feature-length films and then do that over and over again. So it was really the kind of people that John was interviewing on that show back then. It was really an elite group of underground filmmakers. There weren't many of us. There was a handful of us, and his show is a screenshot of a point in history of like the beginning of, I wouldn't say the beginning of the shot on video revolution was like the mid 90s, but this was like 10 years later, and it was starting to really take hold. Like it was just the beginning of digital, just the beginning of I remember I would get into arguments with my cinematographer in the late 2000, in the late aughts. He wanted to use these newfangled cameras that had memory cards on them that could only record maybe 20 or 30 minutes of high definition footage, and then they would have to be pulled out of the camera, put into a you guys know what I'm talking about, but this is for the this is I'm just trying to set the scene up for the audience for how far this goes back and how much of a unique period in film history this was. You would have to put those memory cards into like a converter and then plug them into a computer and offload all that HD footage onto a laptop and then go back and then put the cards back in the camera. And I would argue with my cinematographer at the time, like, that is such a waste of fucking time. We can shoot on tape. All I ever shot on was mini DV tape. And it was just, and those tapes, I would just buy a fucking 16-pack of tapes and go to work. I would just shoot and shoot and shoot. We would have shoot days that sometimes would last 10, 12, 14 hours, no joke. And we would shoot so many tapes worth of footage. And when they wanted to convert over to the memory cards, which you can't even shoot, you can't even buy a camera that has tapes anymore. Tapes are not even on the market anymore.
Right.
Like, we have completely moved past that technology to where now you can make a movie on your fucking cell phone. I shot a promo about a week ago on my cell phone, uploaded the footage to my fucking Google Drive, got home, downloaded the footage onto my editing computer, and edited the promo together. I mean, we live in that convenience of an era of filmmaking now, and so it really, I think we finally hit that point where it's literally anybody can make a movie.
Well,
but back then,
unfortunately, not everybody can get it distributed, and that's a whole other discussion. That I would love to have.
Distribution is probably at its worst.
Yes, absolutely.
As far as making money goes, but I think distribution's at its best right now if you just want to get the movie out. Like, if you want to just upload it on YouTube,
yeah.
And all the hack movies now are available on YouTube and on some form or another. They're so profane, and there's nudity and horrific sexual situations in them. So they end up getting they end up always getting caught and flagged, but then they get uploaded somewhere else. You can watch all my stuff for free on the internet. So as far as that as a distribution model, as far as creating content and having that content seen, it's never been easier. But as far as like the distribution channels for having a company pick up your film and put that film on physical media in stores, or even streaming, it's a little tricky. Like, you guys are familiar with Tubi, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
Tubi, the free streaming channel. That's still a little tricky. It's not as easy as just uploading your movie to Tubi and getting paid. They want you to have you have to do professional subtitles. They have to have a subtitle option, and I've looked into that, and the subtitle option, like the subtitle houses that I've found that'll do it for you, minimum run about $600 or $800. So even that isn't necessarily free. So Tubi, you can upload your movie to Tubi, and that's a great way to get your movie streamed. There's a ton of cool stuff on Tubi, but you do have to manage that one little part of it. Creating subtitles for it.
I wonder. Oh, sorry. Is what we were saying?
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I wonder how that's gonna change because Fox bought Tubi, so I don't know if they're gonna allow like everything that, you know what I mean, like if Tubi's
if anything, they'll make it cost more.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that they're
exactly.
gonna try to make sure they weed out like the movies that are like the lower end movies and try to get the
right,
because they just put in like stuff like Hunger Games on Tubi. Which I think that was a Fox deal, or whatever. I'm sure, So
right.
I'm wondering.
They're all trying to make money, and they're all going after the big Hollywood stuff, and it's all the indies that are suffering for this.
That's what
we have this discussion all the time.
That's what ended up happening. That was the downfall of hack movies at the end. To finally try to come back around full circle to your question that you asked, Paul, if you want to get into the hack movie stuff, hack movies came about in my early 20s, around 2003, I think it was. I worked at a video store, and all the other guys that worked at the video store, it was one of those classic, like, late 90s, early 2000s thing where everybody stood around talking about the screenplay we were going to write. And because I cannot do anything quickly. I always go off on these weird tangents, but in my mind, they're necessary.
Sure.
In the mid-90s, indie film saw an explosion with filmmakers like Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino and
Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez, and the main dude that kicked it all off. He made the movie Slacker. His name was it's escaping me right
Richard
now.
Linklater.
Richard Linklater.
So Linklater created this genre he didn't create it, but he popularized this genre of American indie movies that got nicknamed talkies. And from Linklater inspired Kevin Smith, Rodriguez, and Tarantino were on their own path, and there were many, many more. There was what's his name? Jon Favreau did Swingers.
Mhm.
There was this whole explosion of talkies that came out of the late 90s. And what ended up happening was studios like Miramax would just buy scripts for $1 million or $2 million. And so every asshole in the country would sit down and be like, I'm going to write the next screenplay masterpiece that's going to make me a millionaire. And for a minute there, that was actually an option, believe it or not.
Sure.
You could sit down and write a screenplay and become a millionaire just off of your words. That doesn't happen anymore. Nobody's buying fucking screenplays.
Oh yeah,
And
it's since the corporations took over everything. We had that discussion when we covered The Player in our other video thing that we do called the Criterion Watch, where they talk about the removal of the writer from the writing process and just making movies out of shit that you find on the newspaper because it was a whole lot cheaper.
So you feel what I'm putting down. So
Hell yeah.
I worked at a video store at the time when that was still a viable option. When all these guys I worked with would sit around talking about the screenplay they were going to write that was going to make them rich and famous and let them move to Hollywood and make movies. And my interest was always on the weird shit. I was always into John Waters and Lloyd Kaufman and Charles Band. And while Charles Band is sort of in a league of his own because his dad owned a giant fucking Hollywood movie studio, and so he kind of inherited the fucking kingdom, so to speak, the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. Lloyd Kaufman and John Waters always spoke to me by just coming up out of fucking nowhere with a camera and creating bizarre underground art that was nicknamed Midnight Movies at the time. John Waters, it was John Waters and who was the other? Who was the fucking Mexican dude that made crazy fucking Midnight Movies? I can't think of his name now off the top of my head, but once I start drinking, I can't think of anything. So this interview will be a whole lot of I can't remember.
Well, there was in the late '80s. There was Eddie Nygaard over in the Philippines who was doing a lot of stuff too, a lot of midnight movie kind of stuff.
So when all these other kids were sitting around talking about how they were going to write a screenplay and get famous and go to Hollywood, which was a viable option at the time, I was more in that I just want to buy a camera and do what Lloyd Kaufman does or do what John Waters does. Just get some weird looking fucking people together and make some crazy, offensive, extreme art that will, evoke a response from people. That's all that matters. I didn't care if they liked it. I didn't care if they hated it. I didn't care if they liked me. I didn't care if they hated me. I just wanted to evoke an emotional response with my films. So I sat down and started writing screenplays with no intention of ever sending them to Hollywood, with no intention of anybody ever seeing my screenplays except for me while I made my movies. And so I got a video camera, and I started to shoot a couple little things, and those little things are up on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Kevin Strange. You can watch my early films. I made a short film called Zombage in 2004. That is me. It's me being chased around my own house by myself as a zombie. And there's about 4 or 5 characters in the movie, but they're all played by me. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Okay,
it's
so
cute.
that was one of my first attempts, experiments. Like, what can I do? What are my limitations with no money and a video camera? What can I accomplish? And I was really proud of that little short. I thought it was like basically like you can fucking do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are no limitations. You just do it. And around this time was when a friend of mine who ended up becoming the editor of all the Hack movies, Johnny, he brought over I was still working at the video store, and he would come up there a couple nights a week and hang out, and we would watch obscure weird movies together. Some of them from the video store, some of them that he would bring up there. And he brought up this double feature from Tempe called Mulva Zombie Ass Kicker and Filthy Nasty. Right? So he drops the Chris Seaver bomb on me, and then I'm like, there really is no fucking limitation.
Anybody can do it.
And so Seaver took early Chris Seaver. He took the best ideas from like the talkie style of filmmaking and the best ideas from the absolute like garbage style filmmaking of Troma, and put them together in a way that I had never seen before. And it was like this light bulb went off in my head, and I was already making movies, and I was already going to make feature-length films. Like, I was already on my path. But when Johnny dropped the Chris Seaver movies in front of me, it was like, don't be limited by anything. Do anything you want. Like, use your, because the same thing happened to me that happened to Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith will tell you when he talks about his inspiration from Richard Linklater, he was sitting in the theater watching Slacker, and he realized as he was watching it, I can fucking do this. I can write like this. Like, I'm a talkie motherfucker, and I can write a talkie. I can write 1,000 fucking talkies. I talk my ass off. All I fucking do is talk. and if you haven't noticed, I'm the same fucking way. So it was when I sat down and watched those Chris Seaver movies, I was like, it's the Trauma style. It's the talkie script. I can fucking do this. I can do this style. So the way Kevin was inspired by Richard Linklater, I was inspired by Chris Seaver, and then it was just on from there. I made a feature-length movie every year from then on for like 5 or 6 years, and I made seven films.
Well, too, and that's the thing and that's what I like to show about these movies. These are not just garbage films. These are all done really well.
They're garbage films, but I think that my strength was writing the characters and writing the world that the characters existed in, because unlike what Chris did, and there's this controversy between, like, that there's some kind of beef between me and Chris. I promise you guys that beef is one-sided. I've always cited Chris as my inspiration for starting to make movies. My movies are very similar to Chris's movies, and Chris has a big problem with that for some reason. Like, everybody else in the world is allowed to make movies.
I know, it's silly.
But fuck me for making films, and I don't anymore. I don't make films anymore. I up to maybe last year or 2 years ago, I bought a bunch of movies from Chris online. I had lost my low budget pictures collection over the years, and I wanted to fill it back up, and I contacted him. He'll take my money. He takes my money all day long.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you don't. I'm sure he doesn't. There's no like hate or anything. There's just like.
Don Moody, you should see him when he sees me at a convention.
Oh, I'm sure. We know there are times when he just will go off on either somebody he's worked with or somebody thinks that is just a pest to him or something.
Understand. I owe my career to this fella. And when I do see him at shows, I go out of my way to go, "Hey, Chris, what's up? You got anything new I can buy?" And he's always like, "Sure, right here, $15."
And it's a shame because
"Thanks, buddy."
The world needs to see the Nixon and Hogan meet Sex Squatch movie.
I'm always like, "Thanks, Chris. Can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Not right now." And I'm like, "Thanks. See you later."
Oh.
No animosity on my end. I promise you. No. I have nothing but love for this fella.
It's so funny because John Moody and I did not know each other up until it was like 2009, I think it was, 2010.
No. It was.
You tell a story.
Okay, so we were at both of us got invited to a friend's like movie premiere. I think it was 2014, I want to say.
Really? No, it was earlier than that.
No, it really wasn't, I don't think. It was because that was when Music Store Massacre came out, about 2014, 2015. Okay. So we went to this movie store massacre screening that our friend April invited us to, and we sat like right next to each other, right? Like,
out of the blue.
We didn't know each other, so we just started chit-chatting, and one of the things we started talking about was our love for indie films. That's why we were there. And so I mentioned, I might have mentioned Chris Seaver, and he would mention Kevin Strange, and then we would both kind of bond. Like, I didn't know
who else knew.
Like, we didn't know that each other actually in Virginia, of all places, like literally like 20 or 30 minutes away from each other. We didn't even know that like each other even knew who, like, other people knew who these guys were.
Right.
So when I mentioned you, and we would talk about it, and kind of compare and contrast different movies and different things. And I just thought it was really funny because we did bond over the fact that we actually knew who Hack Movies was, and we knew who Low Budget Pictures was compared to like whatever. So I think we'll get Chris Seaver on our Indie Film Cafe spotlight, but I
hope so.
We won't mention you at all, just to be on the safe side. Of like, because I don't.
I'm telling you, if you do, he'll just grin and bear it. He'll be like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, that guy."
Honestly, you and him and probably Lloyd Kaufman are the three things that got the two of us together, and we've kind of been doing stuff since.
Listen, man, there's a magic to this style of movie making when you do it right. And Chris does it right. I do it right. Lloyd does it right. I think John Waters does it right. And to me, it's very similar to like the metalhead scene, the underground, like metal music, like real metal music doesn't get played on the radio. They don't play videos on music stations. They're a word of mouth style of music. And when one metalhead meets another metalhead, there's this magic because you have to go out and find that stuff. It's a treasure. You have to dig it up yourself. And when you can bond in a way, there's a brotherhood in the metal scene that is rare to find. And I find that same type of energy, that same type of magic exists in this indie film world. And it's what inspired the once those movies started coming out, it was like there's such a power in this. And I would go to convention after convention after I've been to hundreds of conventions over the last almost 20 years, selling these movies to people, and it is such a delight to run into fans who will run up to the table and be like, every Christmas, we always watch Nixon and Hogan Smoke Christmas. It's our Christmas movie. Everybody has, a Christmas Story or this or that or Scrooged or whatever. We watch Nixon and Hogan Smoke Christmas. And I'm like, brother, that's why I made it. I wanted my own Christmas movie. I love Christmas and I love Christmas movies. And I wanted Hack Movies to have a Christmas movie that felt authentically Christmassy.
Right.
And still is depraved and has poop jokes and horrible simulated rape and horrible awful things, but also has this sweet spirit of Christmas to it. There's like a Christmas lesson at the end of that film.
Because you need all of that. Come on.
Right. I agree.
That's what makes. But that's why shows like this and Indie Film Cafe and the other stuff we do exists, is because we want to shine a light, literally, on the people who make these films and these films in general, because as you've seen what's been going on in Hollywood over the years, it's just crap after reboot, it's just garbage.
Right.
All they care about is the bottom line. And I know with independent filmmakers, you'd love to make some money too, but it's really more along the lines of you have a voice, you want to get it out there to the world, and this is just a way to help do that.
And that was why I created my original podcast, the Independent Corner Radio Show, was because I did it out of when I had first created the Independent Corner Radio Show, I wasn't thinking it was ever going to do anything more than one show. I did a test show, and I had Brett Kelly, who's the Canadian filmmaker, who came on my show. The first day I launched it, and I was like, oh wow. So I just write to these filmmakers, these indie filmmakers, and they agree to come on my show. And, right. I had, Megan Berwick from Salute Your Shorts, ZZ from Salute Your Shorts on my show. I didn't think that was even possible until I started doing it. And then now looking back, I look at all the fun stuff I did, like the stuff with you, Kevin, and all that stuff. And I'm like, I did it because, as Paul said, we created Indie Film Cafe mainly because I had quit the Independent Corner Radio Show on Blog Talk because just it got they expensive and it just wasn't working, and I was doing it for 10 years, and I was just like, time to move on and try something different. Paul and I were watching having double feature nights at our at my house, watching really crappy movies that we loved.
I have oodles of this shit.
And then we were just like, let's make our own podcast. And, and it's actually blown up to be a lot bigger than what, we were even hoping. We thought this would just be something we.
I have to apologize that it took until season 3 before we finally got a Kevin Strange movie there. Believe me, I wanted to have one since season 1, but just Jen probably would not have appreciated the style of humor in those particular films.
In the first season, she was
right, season 1, and then things kind of snowballed. But I knew season 3. I'm like, there's no way I'm letting another season go without and I had to do Stiff Jowls, my single favorite hack movie of all time.
That movie's got that movie packs a lot of punch, man. It's got a lot of power to it. And here was the whole point of making the movies that obscene and vulgar, was counter-programming to mainstream media, because mainstream media can't go there.
Right.
And I can't compete with mainstream media. I don't have millions of dollars for production, and I don't have millions of dollars for promotion. So what is my alternative? And I've been on the indie film circuit for almost 20 years. I've seen the movies that indie filmmakers make, and by and large, the large majority, I don't want to hate on my indie film brothers, but by and large, the majority of those films play it safe, and they play as though they're trying to ape the tropes of Hollywood movies, at least Hollywood horror movies, at least 80s horror movies.
Sure.
I wanted to come out of the gate with a kung fu kick or a fucking
Kung Fu
G.I.
grip.
Joe kung fu chop, just obliterating any semblance that this resembled mainstream media. It's total counter programming. It's not for people who just consume evening TV shows and maybe catch a movie at the theater 2 or 3 times a year or watch Marvel movies. This is straight up underground, crazy, horrific shit. And
For the rest of us who appreciate it, thank you. We love it.
you're welcome. But here's the thing, Paul. This is what's crazy about hack movies and the style of filmmaking I did. Do you think I had any idea that 10, 15 years after I made those movies, the world would become this sanitized, offended by everything, politically correct, world that it is? I had no idea what the future held. And those movies, like you were saying about your when you first launched the show, we live in such sensitive times.
Mm-hmm.
Those movies have even more power than ever.
Right.
Suddenly, those movies are supercharged. Suddenly, you put any of my movies on, and 10 seconds into that film, you've offended an entire generation. The entire millennial generation has fainted and fallen on the
They
floor.
need to be offended. They need to. They need that experience. For God's
But
sakes,
the world was
you cannot go through life with a helmet on. You just can't do it.
You're old enough to say that, though. I mean, when we were growing up, the world was a harder place.
And I'm thankful for it.
People didn't get offended by much. And I grew up in the late 90s era of Howard Stern, of South Park, of the shock jock. There was Marilyn Manson. There was I came of age in an era where everyone tried to out-shock each other.
Uh-huh.
Again, John Waters is one of my main inspirations, and he's got a drag queen eating shit in his movie Pink Flamingos. It's like,
As you do.
Right. But he's also he's more like prolific in the mainstream.
he definitely went mainstream and calmed it
That's where
down.
the money is.
I know. And he one could say selling out or whatever, but like my mom knows who he is.
Right.
Like
That Hairspray movie in the 90s blew him up, and all moms know who he is because of Hairspray.
Yeah,
Or maybe
exactly.
he did Crybaby too, right?
Right. But like I don't know what, I think there was something like he was on some kind of reality show type thing that my mom watched. Like some kind of like whatever. So she would be like, she actually always confuses him with Steve Buscemi.
I'm gonna grab another
That's
beer.
funny.
Keep talking. I'm
I
right
don't
here.
even know how that is even possible, but I mean I guess they look sort of similar, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Creepy weirdo Weasley guys.
Yeah.
it's a shame because you're never gonna see, and I mean like yourself or Chris Seaver or God forbid like Bill Zabub, you're never gonna see them in the mainstream in any way, shape, or form. And
Bill Zabub is a cool
thankful for it.
motherfucker too. That dude, the title of he makes a ton of crappy movies, but the one that got me more than anything, I was walking through a convention, just having a good old time, absorbing the great energy from those shows, and I look over and I see a poster for a movie called Ant Farm Dickhole.
Yes, I love that movie. We're covering it on our show.
And I'm like,
So
what the fuck?
funny.
What the fuck is this? And we started talking, and he's a cool dude.
Oh yeah, that's very good. You have to watch Dick Shark though. Dick Shark is so much fun with Misty Monday. Can't beat that.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you say the Bill's about because I showed my friend Mackenzie last night. I showed her Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, and of course, Paul's reaction to that was, "You got to show her Nightmare at Elmo Street or something."
Yes.
And I'm like, oh God, I know it was Beelzebub, so I'm like, oh God. And then she actually just posted, like she commented saying, I don't know what that is, but I have to watch it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
you're trouble.
there's such an energy to these movies. This is
Yes.
and the energy is getting stronger and stronger. Like I said, these types of movies will make a whole generation fucking faint. So
Right. And
it's,
I have been sharing odd, underground movies with my friends since, the 80s, basically. And this show is just an extension for me to do that with a whole lot more people, with a whole lot different movies, the way that I can just shine the light on them for these movies so that they don't fade away, so that they're not forgotten, they're not consigned to the dustbin of history, because they need to be seen. And our culture, our society needs this in a big time way.
Well, and
yeah.
I feel like that's happening a lot too. There is like this resurgence, I think, for that art of the people in the 90s and the mid 90s slash early 2000s of getting their stuff back, or whatever, their films back out there. So a lot of people are re-releasing their films on Blu-ray or whatever, and I think that's amazing because like we covered Paul and I didn't. Paul wasn't on the show, but I covered with my friend Lila, Zombie Cop, which is a tough movie to watch. It's not very good, but it's a staple of that like underground B movie time period and everything. So, I mean, I absolutely love it. Our movie that we're producing right now, Supernatural Assassins, we'll have people like James L. Edwards from Zombie Cop. We'll have people like Deborah Lamb, who was back in the 80s. And, what I mean? Like those are Brink Stevens will be in it, like that to me, those are the people I still want to see perform because I love them. I love them in all of their movies back in the day, and I just can't wait to work with them.
And it's great because the vehicle that bridged those back in the day 80s things and into the 90s, and now people look back on it and are accepting of B movies and bad films and terrible films, is Mystery Science Theater 3000. That sort of broke open a whole new idea for people who'd be like, okay, yeah, I saw this movie and it wasn't very good, but somehow I was more entertained by watching this than what I ever saw coming out of Hollywood. And it became popular, and now all of a sudden it's not a big deal to make a bad film or to be in a bad film. Birdemic is celebrated, The Room is celebrated. It's a different world now.
Yeah, the biggest sin you can commit in film is to make a boring movie. And you can make
what
a
do I
boring
say?
movie.
All the time.
You can make a boring movie for $1, or you can make a boring movie for $100 million. The cost of the movie doesn't create the entertainment value of the movie. Who are those dudes that made Hell Comes to Frogtown and Rollerblade?
Larry G. Donald G. Jackson and Scott Shaw.
Scott Shaw, right? He's the dude that did the Rollerblade. Is it called Rollerblade?
Well, the first one was Rollerblade, then it gets into like Rollerblade 7 and Rollerblade Warriors. And
Rollerblade is one of the coolest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life, and he made it for about $2. And that dude used to have this, I forget what it's called. He has a filmmaking philosophy, and I forget what he called that philosophy.
Oh, the guerrilla style.
He basically
Zen style, right?
Zen style.
And the idea behind it is, don't fucking worry about a script. Don't worry about knowing how to make a movie. Just fucking shoot something.
Just shoot
it. The thing about it is, when you say just shoot something, it's real easy to shoot something boring. It's real hard to shoot something extremely entertaining from front to back, and that's the art form. The art form doesn't require money. The art form requires creativity.
Yes.
If you have creativity, if you're a creative motherfucker, if you're a weirdo and you know how to entertain, you know how to put something on screen, you can do it for $1. And Rollerblade wasn't made for very much fucking money at all. And it's one of the weirdest, coolest fucking movies I've ever seen in my life.
And I love that puppet. I want that puppet so badly.
That is fucking awesome, dude.
Yes.
Actually, we reviewed Rollergator, which was also and we reviewed Baby Ghost. So we've done 2 Donald G. Jackson movies in our thing. Both, he had never seen Baby Ghost, and neither had I. We actually fucking love that movie.
It was so great.
I need to own it.
Joe Estevez for life.
Yeah, Joe Estevez and Conrad
Conrad
Brooks.
Brooks.
I mean, some amazing cast members from back in the day who I miss. Like, you know, you can't make a movie like that anymore, but you can make, you know, like you were saying earlier, nowadays you can take your cell phone. Like I've got an iPhone right here, shoots in 4K. I could freaking go out and make a movie right now if I wanted to.
And you can upload that footage to the cloud and store it, and you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
You're fine.
you're good. Or I could just send it to my Dropbox, you know, or whatever,
Right.
and then have it forever, and then I can just edit it on my phone, you know,
Right.
and stuff like that. And that's the other thing, you edit on your phone. Like, there's no excuses these days. The only thing that I'm always, you know, for me, I'm more along the lines of, if I came up with a quality idea for that I can make on my iPhone, I'll do it. You know, but I don't want, just like you said, I don't want to make a boring movie. I don't want to make something that I'm not proud of, and I don't want to make something just because I can do it, you know.
Right.
So I'm one of those
Right.
people that's like, I try to prepare, I try to come up with the scripts, I try to do everything I can, raise money, you know, because I feel like if I'm gonna give it my all, you know, I'm gonna give it my all. But that's the other thing, is like, there are people like yourself who went out and did stuff on there, like with a little DV camera and stuff. I looked up to that, like, completely. If I tried to do a movie on my DV camera, I couldn't get fucking actors. I couldn't get my friends to want to come out. You know, it was tough.
It's finesse, man. I have a bunch. So when I was at the peak of making movies around that Stiff Jobs era that Paul's talking about that he likes so much, right around here in this area, and I live in a tiny town in southern Illinois, right smack dab in the Midwest. There's no culture here. There's corn, and there's bars, and there's churches, and there's nothing else.
Ugh.
I made so much noise on the internet and locally doing screenings and shit locally. I made so much fucking noise that there's this little scene that popped up around me of these other guys that decided that they were going to try to make movies like me. And 201, they all failed because they couldn't get the actors to commit to the films. And they would always ask me, what do you do that gets your actors to keep coming back time and time again? And I was like, dude, there's an X factor to directing films and to leading a film crew that you can't put it into words. You can't teach somebody the X factor of making a group of people excited to come back for free day after day, grueling 10-hour shoot after grueling 10-hour shoot in horrific latex makeup, exhausted to the bone. If you listen to the audio commentaries on some of my films, the actors will tell you, I don't even fucking remember filming this scene.
Yeah.
This is like the 8th scene we filmed that day on like hour number 15, and it's a blank. Like I was on cruise control. I don't even remember doing it. We would get into this weird like Zen state of filmmaking and just cruise through these scripts.
But
And
they are so good at it. One of the things I remarked about with Stiff Jobs especially, I said, this is not an easy film for an actor. These guys have very large, indigestible chunks of dialogue that they have to memorize, and they have to deliver believably. And they do a great job, especially Thaddeus Starbuckle. That guy, what a great job he did for that film. It was amazing.
I worked with a few natural talents that were real easy to work with and just made my job super easy. But one thing that you don't notice, and I would point it out to you if we were watching one of the films, is I created this filming technique, this style. I didn't create it. I've stumbled into this filmmaking, this style that because I would run up against these page-and-a-half long monologues of ridiculous dialogue that no human being actually talks this way at all. You know, the hack movies have their own cadence and weird speech, and we use words in the hack movies universe that aren't used by anybody else anywhere. And to get these people that aren't really actors, these aren't thespians, these aren't, you know, theater majors in college or anything. These are just, you know, people that live in fucking Southern Illinois with me that wanted to have fun and be in movies. What I would do is I would have them deliver as much of it as they could in one go. Just do as much as you can. And then when they'd fuck up, I would just have them start again. And so we get a page and a half or 2-page monologue. We get it done in, let's say, 4 takes. What I would do is I would shoot over their shoulder and get the reaction of the opposite person that they're talking to, and have them talk while I'm getting the reaction. So as you see me talking right now, my head's moving, my shoulders are moving back and forth, my jaw's moving up and down. So I would have them doing that while I was shooting over their head backwards, to where, and then we were catching the reaction shot from the other person, and the brain just automatically just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just like, it's this smooth transition, and it comes off like this monologue is delivered all in one seamless, 5-minute take. But the reality is they fucked up all the time. And I had these rules on set because an actor, or let's say a non-actor, an amateur that you're filming, that you're putting in a movie, here's their reaction whenever they've got a monologue to deliver. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking put my dick piece up in your asshole and this, and then when they fuck up, their reaction is be like, man, fuck, and step off the line and walk around and get all mad at themselves. And then you have to set them back up. You have to get them back on the line. You have to get them lit, get them back in the lighting the way they were a second ago. My cinematographer, I had to teach him too. He'd drop the camera and start smoking a cigarette. And it would take each take, we would have to set it back up. It would take just as long to set the take back up as it took to get that delivery in the first place. And so I started creating these rules on set to make the movies go by. This is like Roger Corman style shit. I didn't necessarily have a fucking stopwatch on set like he did. Roger Corman would go to his sets with a fucking stopwatch. And he would,
I read about that.
And he would fucking film. He would time his directors and tell them, "You got to get this fucking movie made. I could do this in a day, and you've taken 2 weeks. Like, let's get it fucking done." And he developed all these different weird tricks and techniques of like shooting everything in a scene from one angle with the lighting and the camera set up in one shot. Like, how many things can we shoot in this shot? Like, we're not gonna break the camera down and move the lighting for every single take and every single angle. We're gonna do this angle, every single line in the entire scene. And if there's more scenes that are in this location, let's film as many of those from this angle as we can. And so he would put his movies together in like a jigsaw fashion, or jigsaw puzzle fashion. And he would be able to cruise through his shooting like that. So I developed a style like that, where when I would tell the actor and the cinematographer, when you fuck up, just compose yourself and start again. I'll tell you where I want you to pick up from, deliver the line from where I tell you to start, go as long as you can until you fuck it up, and then I'll tell you where to pick it up from there. And dude, we got to the point where when I made Nixon and Hogan Smoke Christmas in 2010, late 2009, early 2010, we shot an entire feature-length film in 9 shoot days.
Wow.
9 fucking shoot days, because I had built this shooting style down to every shot that I can get from this angle and this lighting and this camera focus in the entire movie. If there's 6 scenes that take place in this room, how many can we shoot just like this from right here? And we'd film all of that, and then we'd move the camera and then film all of that. And I was able to shoot feature-length films in 9 shoot days by the end. Like, and I would progressively from movie to movie to movie. It Colonel Kill Motherfuckers, my 3rd movie, took me 8 months to shoot, and it was driving me fucking crazy because I could only get my actors on Sundays. These motherfuckers would tell me, oh, I've got a wedding on Saturday, I'm going camping with my family, I'm going out of the country, I'm going to be in Amsterdam for 2 weeks, and it was driving me fucking mad because they weren't committing to my film. And that's nothing against my people, because what I ended up doing was after that, the lesson I learned from Colonel Kill was to tell my people, if you're going to commit to being in the next movie, there's no fucking weddings. There's no fucking camping trips. There's no fucking leaving the country. There's no fucking cutting your hair bizarrely, shaving off all your fucking hair for no reason in the middle of a shoot. And if you commit to me Friday nights, all of Saturday and all of Sunday, we can get these movies done in just a month or 2. And then I'll leave you alone for the rest of the year. I only made 1 movie a year. I was like, we can do this in 3 months, and then I'll leave you alone for the rest of the fucking year. You don't have to worry about me. You have to worry about me blowing up your phone and bugging the shit out of you. If you just give me Sundays and you do all this other fucking shit during the, I'm going to fuck with you for the whole goddamn year. I'm going to be on your fucking phone. Can I get you this Sunday? What about next Sunday? What about the Sunday after that? What about the Sunday after that? And I'm going to fuck with you all year. Unless you commit. We're going to do a lot of work in a small amount of time, and then I'm going to be as efficient as I can with our time together and get these shots shot off as quickly as possible. So what you see in the final product, especially in Stiff Jobs, in Cockhammer, and in Nixon and Hogan Smoke Christmas, and Nixon and Hogan Meet Satan, is a Kevin Strange obsessed with speed, obsessed with getting that shit shot as fast as he could. And that's what you're seeing. What you're seeing on screen, like, this is crazy how much of the shit that they do. I trained all my people to commit to the movie. Because this is what I would do. I was an asshole about it, but this is what you have to do. I would fucking ostracize and shame my people if they fucked up. Like, my favorite actress in all of my films is Katie Dearest. She's in almost everything I've done.
Yeah.
And she's front and center. She's one of my best friends. We've been friends since she was 16 years old. We've been friends almost her entire adult life. We've been best buddies. But she's not in fucking Stiff Jobs. And she's not in Stiff Jobs because there was one day on Colonel Kill where she had committed to a day and then called me and told me she had a flat tire and couldn't make it. I was like, there's 7 billion cars on this planet. And you got one with a flat tire. You got 3 other tires. You better get here. If you don't get here, you're not in the next movie. She didn't come, and she wasn't in the next movie. She begged me and begged me and begged me. I'm sorry I fucked up. I'm sorry I fucked up. And I said, I know. I understand. I'm not mad at you. We're still friends. We're still buddies. But you ain't in the next fucking movie. And then if you're lucky, I'll put you in the movie after that. Because some people, once they do that to me once, it's a zero tolerance policy. If you fuck me over one time on a movie, you will never get another opportunity to work with me again. And that sounds harsh and that sounds like asshole shit. That's how you get people to make movies with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get them to commit.
Yeah,
Once they
you
commit,
got to be harsh, but you got to be, as long as you're consistent about it and fair about it, you can't complain.
and you also have to be fucking creative, because there's a moment in Colonel Kill where my buddy Andrew, who he played the dungeon master Nicholas in Colonel Kill. He was we were all set to film a scene, and it was like at a location like 30 minutes away from where we all lived. And we all get there, and Andrew's nowhere to be found. And I call him, and nothing. And I'm like, this motherfucker's fucking me. And I'm pacing around, all pissed off. And he calls me, and he tells me, I'm on the way, but I'm running late. And my response was, get here, but you ain't in the fucking scene I'm shooting now. And I hung up on him. And so what I ended up doing was, I had another guy that was about as tall as him. So, and for some reason, I had the hat. I had the hat that Nicole, because what I would do is I would collect as much of the wardrobe from the actors as I could at the end of each shoot, so that it was my responsibility. So that they couldn't show up on set and be like, I don't have the costume. It would be my responsibility to put the costume on you, shoot you for as long as I had you, take the costume off you, and send you on your way. All I'm asking is, don't leave the country, don't cut your fucking hair. That would be my two, the two things I would ask of people. So
did anybody ever cut their hair?
fuck yeah. In Stiff Jobs, Thaddeus Starbuckle shaved his whole fucking beard. He had a beard this big. And I told him that we were done with production, and he fucking shaved his whole fucking beard off. This motherfucker had a beard for a year and a half. And he shaved it, bicked it down to fucking bare skin. And 2 weeks later, I was like, we need to add some more scenes. I don't think this movie is it's not working as it is. I want to, and what I did was I ended up putting that final scene where all the corpses of the people they've killed come back to life at the end of the movie, and start attacking. That's when you get Wingate's classic line, Wolfram, being dead gives you a huge cock. I wrote that, and I wanted to shoot it all. And Thaddeus Starbuck was like, well, we got a problem. I was like, what? He's like, I shaved my beard off. I was like, how much? He's like, all of it. And so that was July. I had to wait until November to shoot the remainder of that movie, because I had to wait for his fucking facial hair to grow back out so that he wouldn't just be clean shaven. Now, a smarter Kevin Strange, a more seasoned Kevin Strange would now say, well, it takes place in another dimension. Who cares if he doesn't have any facial hair? Write a piece of dialogue about it. Wolfram, where'd your beard go? I don't fucking know. That would have been easy.
I would have been with that. I would have been okay with that.
That would have been awesome.
But on the day with Andrew on Colonel Kill Motherfuckers, I ended up having a guy that was about as tall as him, and I had the hat. So I shot the whole scene from behind his character with the hat on, and Andrew didn't get to be in the scene because I put it's what Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell used to call shimp hands. if you ever watched the audio commentaries of the Evil Dead movies, if they had to put something into a scene that didn't belong to the actual actor, they would call it shimp hands or a shimp head or whatever. So I shimped an entire fucking actor and shot that whole scene from behind with a guy about as tall as him with a hat on, with his hat on, because and again, I told him, get here and you're in the next scene, but you don't get to be in this scene anymore. I'm cutting your dialogue. You don't get to be in this scene. And he got there and he finished the movie, but he didn't get to be in that scene. And that's how I would keep people in line to make movies with me. And it sounds like an asshole-ish thing to do, and that you're gonna and people are just gonna be like, fuck you, you're not paying me anyway. So why would I give you all this time and all this effort and energy? And I would tell people that at the beginning of the shoot when they would say they wanted to be in the movie. I was like, I'm not your friend. We're not going to be best buddies. You're going to hate me while we're making this movie. But the magic of film, when this thing's fucking done, and we would always have a wrap party where when the movie was finished, I would put together an assembly cut and get the entire cast and crew together, and we would have beers and we would smoke weed and we would get together at one of our houses and we would watch this cut together, dude. And it was so much fun to see the look on their faces with these actors who maybe they read the whole script, maybe they only read their parts. They're only in a handful of scenes, most of them. When they see that final film put together and how fucking crazy and cool and how much insane energy there is in it, they were hooked, dude. It's like a drug.
Sure.
Like a drug. So I would tell them at the beginning of the shoot, I'm not your buddy. You're going to hate me. I'm going to demand things from you that you're not going to appreciate. You are going to think I'm asking way too much for you for the cost, cost benefit analysis here. What do you get? Nothing. What do you have to do? Everything.
Well, you at least give them the DVD, right? Like they get a copy of the movie.
Sure, but who cares? I mean, like they give a fuck. I mean, that's not some big valuable thing. I mean, I've given them all 20 different copies of the movies throughout the years. They've lost it or moved or loaned it out. Hey, can I get another one of those? Of course you can. I mean, the DVDs are nothing. Of course, they all got copies of the movie. They continue to this day to get copies of the movies if they want them. But the whole thing was, I would tell people, like, what we're doing is bigger than us as individuals, and it's going to live on forever. 50 years from now, people are going to be able to watch these fucking movies we made together, and I didn't make those movies. We made these movies together as a team. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's magic. And that would keep them coming back time after time after time, brother. You have to be able to rally your troops, and you have to inspire them, and you have to show them the magic of filmmaking. And that's how you do it. And again, I can say this all day long. I could write this down. You either have that it factor, that X factor, where you can rally up troops and get them to be in a film, or you can't. It's just it is what it is.
Well, I think that's almost like a really good spot to kind of start wrapping it up with, because I think that really, really helps a lot of independent filmmakers understand like what it takes to do that stuff.
We're gonna have to have you come back as a guest again, because there's a whole lot more stuff I want to talk with you about, Mr. Strange.
Yes.
Yeah, we barely covered anything because I take half an hour to answer one question.
Oh, that's okay. That's perfectly cool. But I guess we was correct. We're gonna have to wrap this up. But thank you very, very much for taking some time and for talking with us and getting with the Indie Film Cafe crew.
Let us know what you're doing. Like, what are you up to right now?
Yeah, so right now I'm running an Indiegogo campaign for Strangeville Smokeweed, the card game.
Nice.
This is a 108 card deck building game.
Nice.
That features all of the characters from Strangeville in a Magic the Gathering or Pokemon style combat game where you conjure up all of the different characters from the Strangeville universe, from all the different hack movies, from all the we didn't even talk about the comic books that I make.
I know.
I've turned the Strangeville universe into a comic book universe, which I write and draw myself. I did all the card art on all of these on all these cards myself. Nice. And so you use the Black Mage Diary, which is the big magical object in the Strangeville universe that all the horror and supernatural stuff comes from. In my it's kind of like my version of the Necronomicon from the Evil Dead films. You use that to conjure up all these different characters from Strangeville, and you fight each other for weed supremacy, and you try to capture all of your opponent's weed cards.
Nice.
And then if you lose all your weed cards, you lose the game. I'm funding that on Indiegogo right now. This is my third Indiegogo campaign. I have successfully funded and delivered two comic book campaigns previously. This is my third campaign, and one of the things, not to ramble on too much longer so we can wrap this up, but one of the things about crowdfunding that turns a lot of people off is they'll crowdfund something like I've been waiting for a documentary about Empire Pictures / Full Moon Pictures for about 5 fucking years.
I think we all are.
This dude has just been saying year after year after year, I've got some new footage. I'm going to edit in. I've got some new footage. I don't think this fucking movie's ever coming out. And a lot of people get burned from, and I'm not just picking on that guy. A lot of people get burned from indie crowdfunding. And I make a guarantee to my fans, the Strange Heads, the Hack Minions, the old school Hack Minions. Awesome. I don't launch a crowdfunder until my product is done and ready to ship. What I'm showing you is a finished game, completely finished. I'm shipping this out right here. Mm-hmm. So there's no risk involved in crowdfunding. No
ambiguity about it.
It's basically it's a glorified pre-order where we all get to watch the little money meter go up, and I have all these special like stretch goal things. Like right now, if you buy a copy, like you can get a deck for as low as $25 for just the core deck. You also get a paper sleeve copy of Cockhammer, so not in like a DVD disc, but in a paper sleeve. You get a free paper sleeve copy of Cockhammer the movie. You get a free paper sleeve copy of Nixon and Hogan Meet Satan the movie. You get an 11x17 poster of all the characters from Strangeville Smokeweed the card game, illustrated by me. And we're at about $1,100 on the campaign right now. If we get to $2,000, that unlocks a 32-page preview comic book for my next comic book, my next graphic novel, which is a 150-page sequel to Cockhammer called Cockhammer Lives, which is a resurrection and return of not only Cockhammer, but Wolfram and Wingate, who were killed in the film Cockhammer. Wolfram and Wingate are resurrected from hell, and so is Cockhammer himself. So this is 10 years in the making. This is a decade in the making graphic novel sequel of Cockhammer the movie. And if we unlock on the card game here, if we unlock the $2,000 stretch goal, everybody gets a 32-page preview copy of that free thrown into the box. So you get a lot for a little.
Will there be fried potato yams?
There are no fried potato yams, believe it or not. However, there are these expansion sets that come out. I've already got 2 of them upon launch. If you get the expansion sets, it's only $35. So the core deck is $25. The expansions are 18 card little expansion sets a piece, and there will continue to be expansions. And the fried potato yams may, in fact, be in a future expansion. Yes. Because you just reminded me of their existence. Making this card game was really hard because I had a 15-year career that I was trying to condense down into a 100-card game. And I tried to pick a bunch of key moments from the Hack movies to put into the game, and it's actually surprising how many scenes from Stiff Jobs made it into the movie. The I Don't Want to Die with Blue Balls scene.
Yes, it's such a great film. Yeah. I mean, I like all your films, but for whatever reason, this ticked every single box, including boxes I didn't even know I had to tick. I freaking loved it. I show it to everyone. It's awesome.
My favorite, I believe my favorite scene in all the Hack movies is the bum scene. That bum scene is epic.
that
is
scene
a
was
crazy
awesome.
Scene.
Yeah.
So funny.
One more quick tidbit, and then you guys can kick me off here and get me to shut up. The one scene that I filmed where I said to myself and to my crew, I went too far. This is too much. I don't know if I can put this in a movie.
Wow.
We're filming the bum scene. There's the moment where the lead bum tells one of the henchmen, go over there and go ahead and put your dick in his mouth. And I'm the henchman. And I go, my dick in his mouth? Okay, boss. And I pull a dildo out of my pants. And I start face fucking Thaddeus Starbubble, who's totally game. He's like, come on, go ahead, do it. Gag me with it. Make sure I'm like almost throwing up from it. And we're in a public park in the middle of the day. And I'm kneeling, crouching on a fucking picnic table, and I'm shoving a dildo down my friend's throat. And I've made everybody stop. I said, hold on. This is too much. I don't think I can do this. And they were looking at me like I had two heads. You know, they're like, what are you talking about? You're Kevin Strange. And I was like, Okay, you're right. Let's finish. But that was the one. Everything I've never second guessed anything I've ever done. I love the hack movies. I love everything we did. Like I said, they're more powerful today than ever. They make a whole generation faint and not be able to catch that. How dare you? How dare you do those things? That was the one moment in Stiff Job. So your favorite hack movie has the moment in it
Yes.
that made me question my own artistic integrity. What
I love it.
am I doing at this park to my friend? Have I gone too far? So I guess we can end it. We can end it with that little.
And
That
I
is
promise you, if I have $1 million, I'm giving you half so that you can make another film. I know you're not into making films, but if somebody gave you $500,000, I'm almost positive you'd give it a crack.
I mean, I'd probably make 500,000 movies, but
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much again for coming on the show. We will have to do this again if you're game for coming
Sure.
back on.
Oh yeah,
I'll
we'll definitely have you for season 2 of this, which is next year. We'll definitely have you come back on and chat with us some more and talk about how well your card game. Also, send Paul the link to the Indiegogo and everything, and we'll post it
Sure.
on the YouTube page.
sounds good.
You
So
know?
yeah, if you're into the hack movies universe, you'd definitely be into the card game.
Yeah.
Card game is
Absolutely.
totally all about the hack movies.
I'm sure
Yay.
Paul's already gonna buy one. you
Heck
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to live in the hack universe. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh well, see, there you go. You can sort of live in the hack universe by playing these games.
Yes.
Thank you
yes.
guys so much for having
Thank
me on.
you.
And thank you for walking.
Yep.
No, we don't ever talk about movies anymore. I haven't made movies in a while. It's great to talk about them. Obviously, I still have passion for the filmmaking process and the magic of indie film and all that. I still love crappy bad movies. I still seek them out, find them anywhere I can. And it's like I said, it's a special, magical little underground world. And when we find each other, we're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? You think you'd be interested in being one of our Indie Film Cafe movie reviewers sometime?
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
Awesome.
you want.
Outstanding. Well, we will
Yeah.
definitely have you on for next season.
Or if we got time this season, I bet you guys
Sure.
would love to do Ant Farm Dickhole together.
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
That
man.
would rock. That would totally
Yeah,
rock.
guys
see
wanna do,
that
I'm
he'd be
down.
the perfect person for you, Paul.
And
because-
Rebecca Reinhardt as well. She loves this stuff too. That would be
Yeah.
a great trio.
Yep, there you
Oh, yeah.
go. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. If you stick around after we're done with this, we'll chat with you and we'll thank you some more a little bit after. But we've got to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much. And
you very
thank
much.
you everybody for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out, what's your website again right now? Like
KevinTheStrange.com.
KevinTheStrange.com. So check it
Mhm.
out and see what you guys think of the hack movie world plus the comics and other stuff that you're up to now, the books and all this.
Yeah, you can get all my
crazy
novels,
media.
all my movies, all my comic books from KevinTheStrange.com.
All right.
Yay. Check it out, everyone. It's worth it.
Okay, everybody have a great day. Bye.
Bye.